Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to the CV Forum. And it's a very interesting day with a lot of good presentations and a lot of great speakers to hear. So we will make a small presentation. Before that, we have an AV for BAPL Rototech. Everyone, and now I will just give you a brief introduction on the company BAPL Rototech and also explain what we do. BAPL Rototech is an Indo-Italian joint venture established in August 2015, and we actually started production sometime in 16-17. And Rototech is an extremely well entrenched in this European and Russian and China markets. They have a great expertise in this field of making fuel tanks and the urea tanks for the commercial vehicle industry. And that's how we started. And like our profile says, we do a lot of fuel tanks, engine components, airflow ducts, and also exterior body parts. And we do exports to Japan as well as Thailand. And yeah, the next slide, please. So as I mentioned, since the Rototech has a complete knowledge of end-to-end solutions, and we have horizontally deployed those capabilities in our joint venture. So our team is capable of designing from basic architecture data to complete design simulations and validations of the fuel tanks or any urea tanks for that matter. Next slide, please. So as I mentioned, Rototech is an entrenched player in this space, and they are having manufacturing facilities in France, Italy, and also a joint venture in Russia, and of course the Indian joint venture, and also in China. And they are putting up a couple of facilities through acquisition in the US and Brazil. And the headquarters remains in Italy at Turin. Next slide, please. So we have the huge customer base, virtually a who's who of the CV industry in the global arena. I mean, whether you call Daimler, MAN, Packard, DAF. So you have the names here for you, as well as the Indian customers as Tata and Mahindra. Yeah, next slide. So as I mentioned, the technologies what we offer to our OEM customers is from, a huge domain expertise in rotational molding. And in rotational molding, we have traditional oven heated capabilities, and also the Leonardo machines, which are oil heated, and of course, most recently, the smart electrically heated machines. And in blow molding, we have extrusion as well as 3D blow molding capabilities. So we can offer complete design to validation solutions for product and launch of the same. Yeah. So I was mentioning about these tanks. I mean, the benefits of the new generation fuel tanks, which are primarily specialty polymers, are you can be innovative with your design. They're obviously lightweight, and you can pack them in any space, giving much optimization of the space. And they're almost maintenance free, and they're much safer for crash and fire safety, apart from being environment friendly. The most important part being the current fuel generation, the current fuels, like you have biofuels and also the ethanol based fuels. So the compatibility for these tanks are very good compared to the metal tanks. Yes. So we offer, obviously, Tata Motors, a big customer for us, and not to mention about Volvo, Eicher, Mahindras, and so many of other customers, OEMs. But most importantly, what we do is we bring them a lot of innovative ideas with which they could scale down the number of variants in metal tank to fuel tanks. I mean, in the plastic tanks. And so that is something what we could do for our customers like Tata and Volvo Eicher. And also the AdBlue tanks, what we do is very much customized to their requirements. And for Mahindras also, we may launch the fuel tanks for the BS6 range. So, and for force motors, again, we have developed a capability for a blow molded fuel tank, which could be used in multi models. So a lot of flexibility here and design to incorporate various features required in different vehicles. Yes. And as I mentioned, we do a lot of innovations, and that not only restricted to India, but also globally. We first did the integrated fuel tank and AdBlue tanks, which is what we call a Tandem tank. We launched sometime in 2019, and it's been successfully going, and we have excellent feedback from the market. And we are now developing a monocoque fuel tank and a AdBlue tank, which is currently in proto phase, and getting all the validations in place, maybe in a few months from now. So a lot of innovations what we can offer to our customers, OEM customers. Yes. And this tandem tank was again, it brings a lot of advantages like modular and flexible, and you save on your aggregates, and number of suppliers comes down, and obviously it's light and compact. So pretty much what the OEMs, today's OEMs need these kind of solutions because there is so much of reduction of number of suppliers and stuff like that. Yes. And so we won a lot of accolades for these particular tanks. We could help them reduce the weight of from the metal tank to plastic tank, and also the integration helped them to reduce weight and space. So it's much safer and compact, and people are very happy with the end customers are very happy here. Yes. So we're also doing a lot of things on future technologies, which is what is the buzzword these days, especially the hydrogen fuel cells. And so we are in the process of developing few prototype in rotomolding as well as blow molding technologies, along with our parent company Rototech. These are under currently test, and soon we will be out with our more detailed product plans for this, for our OEMs, because a lot of things is confidential at this point of time. So we're working on this. So we will just give you a snapshot what we can offer to our customers. I mean, like the design development of Type 4 cylinders with obviously which needs carbon binding, as well as certain very typical components which are meant for the safety of the tanks when they are in play. Yes. So obviously these are much lighter and very resistant to fire and heat, and much easier to maintain compared to metal tanks, and they have good UV protection and etc. etc. So these are now the preferred kind of tanks globally, and as we see the alternate fuels gaining ground, and the usage of these tanks are gaining substantially in the market space. I mean, I think 5 years from now, like today we are talking about fuel tanks and plastics. So 5 to 10 years from now, we will see the usage of these hydrogen tanks or CNG tanks completely. Yes. So we have this is what I would like to end with. And should you have any questions, please put it in the chat box, and we'll be happy to respond. And we look forward to your feedbacks for any improvements. Thank you for giving us this opportunity.